What is up, YouTube? It's your boy Alex here from Team Generations, and today we are here with another market watch. So today is A, the release of Premium Collection, and B, the release of Festival Collection, and both of these obviously have impacts within the meta and really changes a few decks for both formats, really. So something for everybody outside of maybe V, but we'll talk about some V cards also that are kind of bouncing over here. I'm going to make this a little bit shorter, I think, than some other weeks, just because I want to concentrate on some of the newer sets and not dig so deep into maybe some older stuff. So let's just check it out, get right into it. Premium Collection 2022. Now, before I even say anything, I want to just kind of talk about how I see other people like approaching this, and I don't think it's incorrect what I've heard, but a lot of people are going on about how, hey, look at Festival Collection 2019, 2020. Look how those kind of just increased in price over the long run, and it was like really cheap at first. I think we live in a different time now. I think premium is actually a lot more accepted now than it was back then, because I think people were really kind of down on premium around that time when V first started. I know in my locals, like on Long Island in general, like everybody just kind of dropped premium for a bit. It's coming back now for sure, but it's just kind of sad that premium did go away. So, you know, obviously our local demand went down and like so on and so forth. It just meant that less players, I think, at the time were playing premium, but now premium's pretty hype. You know, you have all the old head, you know, the original guard kind of YouTube players over there kind of just talking about the format. I think it's generated a lot more hype than it has in the past. So I don't think, you know, future past results are not indicative of future results or whatever. Past performance, that is, not indicative of future results. I think that's the motto, as we say in finance. But over here, I think we have to approach this a little bit differently. I think demand for this out of the gate will be a little bit more than it was previously, and I think, yeah, the prices will drop, maybe settle a little bit in the coming days, but I don't think it's going to be this 8-month span anymore. I think it's going to kind of, you know, we're going to see a 2-3 month turnaround, and all of a sudden I think prices are going to spike back up. So watching the next couple days, I think it's going to definitely be the most important time to buy for yourself. So get what you want and get it quick. But looking at the top over here, I just filtered this high to low over here. We see that Radiate Ocean Heltruda. This is actually probably the most expensive, I think, SR out of this set over here, $39. That's no surprise, as there are so many Bermuda decks that this can go into. Really just such a great card overall for the clan. Like, absolutely amazing. I can't wait to freaking see it every week at locals. Over here too, we see that the Dimension Police, you know, a lot of the suspects I think that we thought we'd see are kind of expensive. Yeah, not too bad. Something that I didn't really anticipate, this card over here for Angel Feather is going for a lot more than I feel like a lot of the other regular rarities. This is a regular rarity. Holy Seraph Zafkiel. Is Angel Feather really that good now? You guys let me know down in the comments below. But nothing too crazy really for the SRs over here. Heltruda is the most, outside of Zafkiel over here, is the most expensive triple rare, just the regular base version. And we see, yeah, just kind of trickling down. Nothing too crazy over here. Surprised this is actually only $10. But we see things like the Cosmo Winger over here. He is expensive. Happiness Gathering Dragon. I don't know. Is that also another good card to maybe possibly slept on? I can't wait till I actually like play the format, discover these things, so I can kind of bring it to you guys. But over here, Lawless King Galley, I see why that is definitely on the upper end of these. I think most of these cards are actually $5, if I'm not mistaken. $5-7. Oh wow, yeah, so $7 over here. So this is actually a pretty expensive set out the gate. Like, granted, you probably don't need a playset of every single stride, you know, take that with a grain of salt. Different clans are going to need different things, but at the same time, even if you need like 1 or 2 of these, you know, for 6 different clans, you're already racking up quite a bill right there. So I could see these things kind of settling in, being a little bit less, because we still have 15 listings at that price. I think people will start to try to undercut each other. I'm not purchasing today, I don't think. I'm gonna get my triggers and stuff like that, maybe a couple of the G guards, but overall I'm gonna hold out, not purchase it on launch day. I think this might come out on Saturday if I'm not too busy over here. But yeah, this is a pretty stable set so far. The trigger prices are really nice to see. It's kind of crazy to see some of the disparity in G guards, but of course things are better than each other over here. Something that I would definitely purchase, yeah, is probably the G guards today. I think I've quite a few of those in my cart as well. So nothing too much else over here. Yeah, wow, some solid prices on these triggers. Yeah, I think we can kind of move on from it over here. Let's go right along. So just talking about V and premium stuff now. V over here, Dragheart Luard is actually exceeding its market price. And we see people are picking it up in anticipation of August, when I think it's August for us, when the clan collection does drop. Market price of $15. We see the lowest listing over here is $20. And if you want to play set, you're in for about $80 on that set altogether. So again, Dragheart Luard is going up. If you have them, maybe wait a little bit to see if it goes even further. Maybe you can list yours, and then when it comes out, I don't know. If you want to recoup it, sure, but I think that the play in general right now is just to hold these. If you have these, you know, list them for 20 bucks, any extras. I think now is definitely a decent time to buy, sell, or just a little bit in the future, maybe a month before the set comes out. Over here too, another thing that, I mean, I don't think this is making any meta impacts or anything, but this is kind of like a fan favorite clan. This is like one of my favorite cards too, period. Like Mordred really brought me into a higher tier level of playing, I think, in V series at least, and I think that it's just a really fun card, and the base version is way above its market price. $19 over here market price. We see copies are selling for $25 still on this guy. We have one at $20, really $21.50. And then it's starting to go for $26. So you're in for over $100, you know, $104, whatever, plus change tax. For a playset of base rarity Mordred, I think the SVRs are like $23, something like that. So, you know, again, to raise the ceiling on the SVRs, you have to raise the floor, and the floor is the base. So always charge more for the base starting off, and then the SVRs will follow. Over here, next up too, a lot of Luard support for premium is actually increasing. I just saw general stuff. This is probably the most increase that I saw. Market price of $17 for Drag Strider Luard, Dragon King's Awakening. But we see copies are listed for $23 and above. And there's only 3 listings, and how many is that? 8 copies total on the market. So be aware of that. Over here as well, Omniscience Dragon Almirage. I think that this is a really interesting card. I think that this for a while has been kind of high in price, but I know MCole, I see that he just kind of dumped a lot of his inventory on TCG Player. You're going to see that reoccurring theme. MCole just kind of posted a lot of things, you know, $13 for one of these. I think you need to run 1 or 2 in each Great Nature deck. It's honestly not like the worst price in the world, and you know, Robbie's always good. I love watching his market watch videos. I still watch him for both Yu-Gi-Oh and Vanguard. You know, absolutely love the guy, and he's always super fast. Shipped really cool things sometimes with the cards. They got little like kind of like Asha token, like grade, yeah, little Asha plant token things. So I really like him, and he's one of the big reasons I kind of started doing this over here. Lesser Rider over here as well for Great Nature. Just another card that's stayed expensive. Market price of $10, but we see copies are going for well above that earlier this month over here. And you know, that's as recent as yesterday. They were sold, 6 of them sold for $21. So that is actually crazy. We see a couple of them listed over here, and I'm not saying this is a bad seller or anything. Just, you know, it's no sales history, one sale. So you're taking a risk over there. At the same time, you know, some more reputable kind of sellers over here, you know, 4 copies, 3 copies. There's not a ton of these, and they're all going for like astronomical prices. So if you're a Great Nature main, let me know. Do you need this? Like, it's absolutely crazy, these prices over here. If you need them, you know, it is what it is. But at the same time, I think this is definitely on the chopping block for a reprint. If a new clan or festival selection, whatever the heck they call it, reprint, the revival selection, that's it, comes out for a premium. Whoops, I forgot to, I think, conclude this with the rest of the shadow cards, but Blue Espada Dragon is being used. I've seen this like Claret build running around now, in both V and I've seen like 1 or 2 in premium, and Blue Espada Dragon just like in it. So a card that's played in both formats, a card that hasn't been reprinted ever. This came out in Team's Dragon Vanity, which was a very sought after set. This was the last set that dropped like literally right before COVID. So big, what is it? Kind of demand for that, just very expensive overall. Same thing with Morian Spear, literally the same exact boat. 4 of these sold 2 days ago for $39 a copy. Wow, that is crazy. You can get a playset for about $100. Wow, that is, I'm sorry, that's insane. I mean, I would not recommend buying any card for $25 at the moment, like especially not Morian Spear. That's really brutal. Over here too, switching gears, Ancient Dragon Spino Driver. So this is the one coming out of Clan Collection Volume 2. Spino Driver has proven that it's just like a decent card. I have my deck profile on that if you want to go check it out on the channel. It's one of my most popular videos. I think Tachi fans are like really solid. I think in general the clan is like a big backing. We see that it is $4.48 market price, but cards are listed for around that $4 mark. Over here we see that it is selling for about $5, so slightly above its market price, but at the same time this is actually a card that holds a lot of value. If you have some in your, you know, bulk that you're not using or whatever the case is, maybe put it in your trade binder, try to get some good value and try to trade up in the long run over here. Over here too, I think this is actually a good time to buy into this Perfect Performance Anj. So Anj is used in Prism in V. I think it's also kind of used in maybe in the Prism builds for like a premium thing at this time. I don't really know. I need to really explore the format and play a little bit more before I make that meta call. But in general, I think this is a really solid card. I'm outfitting my Anj deck to become a premium deck, and I think that at $4 now is the best time to buy it before it becomes like a $7, $8, and all the way up to like an $18 card, like we see some of the Prism support turned into. So if you don't have your copies of this, you want this, the base rarity version is really not too much. It might be time to pick it up. Next up over here, my favorite clan, Narukami. Narukami is steadily becoming a little bit more expensive. I think that you have like a ton of budget options, which I absolutely love. There's so many different builds now in both V and in premium. But this guy is kind of like a constant throughout most of the decks. It just creates such good on-hit pressure early on to the game when in a clan that just doesn't have like a really strong early game in general. So Eradicator, Demolition Dragon coming out of Clan Collection Volume 1. This guy over here, market price of $4, selling for a little bit above that, about $5 a copy over here. So not a cheap card, just wanted you to be aware of that. Again, if you have copies of these laying around, maybe list them, maybe try to sell them, trade them off with your friends, and get some value. Something that I wanted to point out also, since I have so many Narukami decks, and like I hate kind of dismantling them, so I like to buy extra copies of it. So I'm always looking at the PGs, you know, triggers, things like that. And these guys over here are actually pretty expensive now. The Clan Collection one, I think that the price is kind of fluctuating a little bit, but we see the base price is $4, $5 for the Festival Collection, the double rare one. That one was trash. And then the one from Yaji Academy, $2. Let's look into this one. Is there actually copies like available at that price range? There's about 3. Yeah, again from M. Cole, just, you know, once again providing the best price over here. Maybe it is lightly played, but yeah, these are actually really expensive overall once you go past his. Wow, that's actually not good. So if you need your copies of Wyvern Guard Gold, maybe now is the time to pick them up if you didn't already, if there's still some cheap copies listed. Over here too, talking about some more premium things. Grand Blue is obviously good in V. It is great in premium as well, and I think we just got one of the best strides out of the set. I don't want to say that too early, but let's look at that stride really quick. I just want to see the name of it. I forgot it off the top of my head. But essentially you need 30 and drop. It like rips cards. You need like 3 cards, whatever, to guard every single thing. It just makes it like impossible. And if you guys saw on the channel, I have a Negravolt deck profile, and essentially I proved to you that like you can turbo out 30 in literally your first grade 3 turn. So where is this guy? Is this him? Ultimate? No, that's not him. Let me find him. There he is. So let's read into him a little bit more because I just want to go over this really quickly. So this unit attack, CB1, choose 3 cards, different card names from your drop, call them to rear guard circle. All right, so you multi-attack, which is great. Those guys get 5k until the end of the turn. If your drop is 30 or more cards and your opponent would call cards from hand to guardian circle, they must call 3 or more at the same time. So not only are you multi-attacking 1, 2, and then 3 on the Vanguards, 4, 5, and you're boosting something also. That's just absolutely crazy. Like, this is really insane, and you have to dump 3 cards every single time. If your opponent didn't play around this card to start with and you just turboed out 30 in your drop, like, this is actually a huge detrimental card to them. So I think that Grand Blue in general will be getting a lot of attention. Whoops, I'm skipping ahead over here. I think it will be getting a lot of attention in premium, and as a result, it's a little bit above its market price. I remember I just traded something off for one of these. I'm trying to get like 4 copies of them. I have, I think, just 1 or 2 right now, but in general, only 3 listings, 5 copies total on the market. $25 is the max over here, so you need at least 1 or 2 of them in your deck. And this guy is becoming expensive and scarce. Go see Leader Beatrice over here. Obviously good for combos in V and in premium. Like, you absolutely need it. Its market price is $13, and I just wanted to point out that as of yesterday, people are still buying it for a little bit less, a little bit like at that price. But there are copies. Again, M. Cole Games just dropped a bunch of copies. I think he did this because the premium stuff came out. Wanted to hold, maybe provide, you know, a good price point and wants to move some stuff. So now is the time to pick it up if you haven't already. So very, very good card overall. Lord of the Seven Seas and Night Mist, the SP of this Out of Butterfly to Moonlight, is actually bought out. So people are excited about the Seven Seas deck. People want to play it. People like it, and I see a lot of results in Japan of this deck, and I think that it's one of my favorite like Grand Blue decks I think of all time. I really like the aesthetic that he's got going on. This was one of my first profiles that I made also on the channel. That was way back then. So it was going for about $32, a little bit above its market price of $27. So if you have copies, you know, you could reset the floor here. You can kind of charge, not saying to charge whatever you want, but you can maybe make a pretty penny. Over here too, another card that is good for, again, I'm not just going to say this, V and in premium. I think a lot more people are looking at Lambros, Stavros, things like that, just because just because over here we are getting Pursuit Assault in the next clan collection, so it's becoming a lot more accessible, just easier card to get, and people are actually interested in maybe playing this deck. And it's a great deck. It has really fun premium kind of interactions as well. You can run Magnolia in it. You can do a lot of different things, so I think that this is a solid card. Overall, at $5 over here, it's above its market price of $3.48. People are purchasing it as of yesterday for around that $7 mark, so I wouldn't be surprised seeing this go up in price a little bit once these copies are kind of bought out. Yeah, they come into the $10, $11 kind of price range, so kind of crazy. Next up too, let's look at Festival Collection. So this actually just dropped, so we're gonna look at the top rated stuff over here. Let me refresh this just to make sure all my prices are the most current as they can be. So let's look over here. Out of stock on the Orphis, the SSR, and these SSRs look absolutely nuts. I haven't seen one in person yet, but these are really, really crazy. I think they personally look really cool. I wouldn't pay that much for it, but you know, if you're a high rarity kind of collector, 344, market price of 149. If you got it at 149, I feel like you got a steal over there. These cards over here are very expensive, like the new Orphis, the new the new Zorga is just kind of crazy overall. The Dragon Empire card, very, very good for the Nirvana deck. I can't wait to actually test that over here. I actually think people are sleeping on Diablos Madonna, Megan. The new heals out of this are actually pretty decent. I feel like a lot of decks aren't able to deal with like a PBO rush or any deck that like rushes you down and gets that extra crit. So I think they're actually decent. I might start experimenting with these, but in a game with such low trigger values in general, I mean low shield values in general, I feel like it's hard just to like take away that extra 5k shield out of the base of this trigger. So I don't know, we'll see how it goes overall. But the Sealed Blaze Dragon over here, this is really, really good. Let's see, prices are starting to drop. This morning they were kind of like $10, $9. See that they're starting to drop over here. Again, I'm going to suggest to just wait like a day or two on these over here. I don't think that it's the time to buy right now. Maybe for $3 I'd buy it. $4 I'd still kind of hold off. I don't think Bafsagra is like super popular in America. I'm not 100% sure, but a lot of these are at a decent price, not an insane price. But if you are picking these up, I think there's only like 3-4 cards in the pack, so if you are getting these packs, there's like inherent value in almost every single card. So hang on to them, trade them a little bit later on. Who, you know, you don't really need to to get oh yeah, I guess these $10 10 cents ones or whatever aren't so great. But damn, the SSRs for the Bafsagra over here, like this is one of the prettiest cards I think they've ever made in this game, period. They do a really good job with their high rarity stuff. Like, these are insane prices. Like, I'm not, there's no way I can pay all this stuff like that. That is insane. Like $1,000 is one listed for an SSR. Absolutely nuts over here. And then lastly, let's just look at the Triumphant Return, and then I'll look at the over triggers after. I'll type that in too. But we see that this set really dropped hard. So the Phantom Blaster Overlord, the high rarity version, 228, a little bit below its market price, 7 listings. It might still drop. It's not like the most popular deck in the world. Draconic Overlord, the end, again, same deal over here. I think that it'll probably hold north of 300, but at the same time, wouldn't be too surprised. I'm surprised that this is so low. I thought people would like Blaster Blade, but it's not a great card overall. So I think that maybe kind of attributes to that. But I think that the like background and everything, like it's so cool. I think that's just honestly so cool with Aichi on it. That grid is super plus. If you pick these up over here, you definitely made your money's worth. This is kind of crazy if you pulled them. What I'm really shocked about is these 10th SPs. I thought these were like super hard to get, very valuable. We're seeing these guys over here. I might pick up a playset of the Kai one. Like honestly, like it's just insanely cheap, $44. And there's 21 listings still. Let's go into this guy and just to check it out a little bit. People are purchasing it. Yeah, people are purchasing it for this price over here, but at the same time, like I think people are getting these a lot more than the secret whatever heck one it is. Like I think that these are probably not at the floor. Like these will probably go down to like 40ish, maybe like right around there. I can't see it really going lower than that necessarily, but let's look at some of the other stuff in the set to see if you went neg over here, because this is actually a really brutal set. 33 on this is not bad. 32. The SPs are kind of expensive because they're not guaranteed one per box. The SP price definitely jumped. This guy over here is actually really crazy. I ended up picking one of them up for about $25 from a friend. He was just selling it, and yeah, wow, these are $37 now. That is crazy. Let's see over here. SPs, yeah. SPs are pretty expensive. There's no like cheap quote unquote SPs in this set, and I don't really feel motivated to SP a lot of this stuff. I feel like these not are forgettable cards, but they're not like the greatest. Dagrias over here dropping. They were about $10, 25 listings. I would still hold out. If you haven't picked up your thing on day one, I picked them up for like $3. If you haven't picked them up by now, just wait a little bit. 26 listings, 25. Like I think these will drop even further. This is actually a decent priced SP, the Knight of Friendship K. Some of the Kalios or Chaos, whatever you want to call it, Chaos rides are okay. Scourge Domain, $6 still. A lot of this stuff is holding. Like I think that we've really kind of settled into the price. $4 for this double rare, that's pretty bad. In terms of like a buyer perspective, like I don't want to spend $4 on a double rare. It's terrible. When the triple rare is only $3 for this. Yeah, Tommy is really not too much. I think it's probably one of the more competitive builds out of this set. If you are interested, we do have a deck profile over here, but we see some of the new stuff. Wow, Majesty Lord Blaster for $1, Ava for $1. Yeah, this is actually turning out to be a pretty kind of set overall. But thank you guys so much for watching so far. Actually, before I wrap up, let's just look at the genesis of the 5 grades. Let's look at actually some of the triggers too, because I think I was tipped off that the triggers are super expensive, like the effect triggers for some clans. So let's see over here. Over trigger. Okay. Let's just look at the base rarity ones. It's fine. All right. So we have $25 for Keter, 23, 27. Oh my God, these are just unreasonable still. Like even with the announcement that they're getting reprinted and stuff, like it's still just kind of crazy. These were getting reprinted, I think, in the PGs. Maybe they just said the PGs and not 100%. But yeah, these are just super expensive. And again, I feel bad for anybody trying to get into the game who haven't picked a lot of these stuff up earlier, like farm packs at locals. So kind of tough. But let's look at what was it? The set did Urger come out in? Because I think some of the effect triggers there were starting to get very expensive. Oh wow, SP Urger is fucking $4. It's terrible. That is terrible. I guess that's the problem with having so many readily available SPs. Like, yeah, cracking in the box, getting it's good, and I personally would prefer it that way, but your SPs just don't hold as much value over the long term. So let's go to grade zeros over here, and let's see, $19 for the SP. All right, SP ones, whatever, you can charge whatever, but $2, $6 for the front, a basic front one, not even a hollow. The hollow's cheaper. That's brutal. $4 or $5. Yeah, these are actually getting pretty expensive. So that is actually a tough pill to swallow. 99 cents for that one's actually not bad at all. So yeah, this is actually pretty brutal over here. So thank you guys again for watching. If you guys have any shout outs that you want to make, go do that down below. Let me know any cards that I should check out for next week. Let me know if I am missing anything that you think is really important to cover. Let me know your thoughts too on my whole perspective on this festival collection. I mean, this premium collection, how I think that it is actually going to hold a little more value than we've seen in the past right up front, and kind of keep that momentum through, because I think some of the older sets, just you can't apply the same logic anymore. I think the demand for premium in general is just a little bit higher than it was in 2018, 2019, or 2020, whenever it was, really. So thank you guys again. This is Alex from Team Generations signing out.